All right, I'm here with Ocean Lakes head football coach Joe Jones, his team with a thrilling comeback win tonight here at the Virginia Beach Sportsplex, 39-28 over the Cox Falcons as they move on to the regional championship game, which looks to be here next week against Oscar Smith. Coach, you're 12-0. How's this feel to come from down 11 to the dynamic Tavion Robinson and the Cox Falcons, who had your number in the first half, but your defense shut them down in the second half?
Yeah, they sure did. I mean, they came out. There was a track meet. I told the official end of the first quarter, you might need to change shoes. You're going to wear them out. Man, what a game. What a game. And yeah, started out, a couple broken plays for each team, 7-7, and I didn't know if we were going to be able to stop him because he is so dynamic. But my hat's off, first of all, to Cox and to him and their team on a great season. And you know, they had a great game plan and played well. Guys played hard. And, you know, halftime, we just kind of challenged our guys to, are we ready to hang it up? Or do we want to keep playing? I told them all along, each week you go, it's the will to win is more and more important. And you know, second half, didn't make a lot of adjustments other than just doing our jobs, doing what they're coached to do, and tackling. And you know, that was huge. Offensively, we felt pretty good. You know, 17 points first half, with 22 points the second half. So. You know, we felt we were able to move the ball and do some things. And, you know, Xander, man, he keeps plays going with his feet. And
stood out of a couple sacks tonight. And then one where he was down, he extended it with his feet, like you said.
Yeah. So he, little Ben Roethlisberger there.
No doubt about it. For you, knowing that what your defense can do, to have a first quarter where it was 337 yards, it was just a matter of getting a tempo at your place, because they had an onside kick first half, and then you opened it up with the second half. Was that something you thought about there? We got to get momentum back?
We talked about that at halftime, and we planned it, and I tell you, couldn't have executed any better. We saw with the previous couple kicks we had that we thought it was there, and we practice that a lot. We spend a lot of time on special teams every day, different special teams, and because we feel that's so important. And, you know, and then we got it, had a good drive, and had the deflected, dropped the ball, and it deflected into Nine's hands. The ball just keeps going to him. And but we just keep plugging away, man. These guys have been resilient all year, and these guys have embraced the challenge in front of them, and you know, they just don't give up. They don't want to stop.
I think battling adversity was no issue for your team because you've had so many injuries and you've overcome those this year, including on the offensive line, and obviously Jake Lowe going down. But I want to speak on the defense. You know, had so many different guys get a hat to the football. One stood out to me. He's been doing it all year. It's Cameron Williams, unofficially with 13 tackles tonight. And schools at the next level are probably sleeping on this kid, right?
You know, he had 23 last week against Kellum. He led the area with 104 in the regular season. Yeah. And I told, I think you and everybody who would listen, Andy Hilton and all the college coaches, I said, this guy's, he's the real deal. He can play. He's a football player. He is just a good old school, you know, rock'em sock'em football player. You know, nobody knew a lot about him because he moved here from Mississippi, family's military, and they moved here from Mississippi, and he came in last year and just kind of learned everything and put on about 15 pounds, 20 pounds this off season and worked his butt off. And yeah, I told coaches, I said, he's the sleeper. So we're, I'm taking him. We're going to ODU tomorrow.
Okay, see the last home game
with he and Xander and Sean Hamilton.
And you've moved him around too. From he's played some DN, some outside backer. Now I think middle linebacker for you on defense. He's played a different.
He's mainly a middle linebacker, inside linebacker, but coach moves him around, and he's just a football player, man. He's a Chicago Bear middle linebacker.
Oh, those type of throwbacks. Love those. Couple more for you. And one guy who doesn't need any help with recruiting. He's already committed to Maryland as a 4-star, big-time player. Tank Landfree. It feels like, and speaking with Xander as well after the game, that your offense has been able to throw the ball before with Xander.
Right.
When Jake got hurt, and Eli's done a great job running the ball and catching out the backfield as he showed tonight, your offense kind of morphed from a run to a throw offense. And tonight you used some wrinkles moving Tank in the backfield and catching the ball, using him in a lot of different ways.
And we've practiced that a lot the last few weeks and just been waiting for, it's playoff time. And we want to try to get our guys the ball in space when we can. And, I think last week we looked after the game, we're averaging like 167 yards passing and 168 rushing or something like that.
Pretty good balance.
50-50. So, but Eli has just stepped up big time at running back, has 2 big games now. And, they shut us down in some runs, but we just keep plugging away. We got some new guys on the offensive line because some guys got banged up the last 2 weeks, and we just keep going.
Yeah, and Snowden got stronger as the game went along. Yeah. Okay, so you don't have to worry about defending that Robinson guy. Now you can root for him as a Hokie. He's going to Virginia Tech.
I told him after the game, man, I said, I'm so glad that he's a hell of a player.
Yes.
And I said, I'm so glad that now, once you sign on that dotted line, you're family with me for life, and I can't wait to watch you play now.
Well, this is, I believe, a region championship opportunity for you against an Oscar Smith team that eliminated you last year. You were so close to getting them a couple times at Kings Fork. Chance to get them in the region championship looks like it's going to be here. Your thoughts on that match and what you got to do to beat them, because they're a really well-rounded football team.
Oh, yes, they are. And, I mean, we go from Tavion Robinson to Cam Kelly. And so there's no difference there. And I got to watch them play a little bit at the end of the Kings Fork game in the second quarter and third quarter, and you know, they're typical Oscar Smith. They're a mentally tough team. They're a physical team. They're an athletic team, and Cam does a hell of a job at quarterback. I mean, he throws the ball, puts it on the money. He can run it. You know, we're going to see the same type of quarterback next week, just in a different offensive scheme.
Well, it should be a fun one the day after Turkey Day in Virginia
Absolutely.
Beach, Ocean Lakes, and
My
Oscar Smith.
favorite practice is Thanksgiving morning, baby.
Go get some food, and we'll see you then.
Absolutely.